All right, folks, this is good. This is good. Why? Because the market tends to react to the earnings that AMC just reported. And I want in this video I want to kind of share with you guys my opinion on where we can see this trading for the remainder of at least this week, especially as I don't believe the overall market is kind of out of the weeds per se. Now, if you look at after hours, the stock is up more than 4.7%, which is a good thing because the earnings were kind of good. So jumping into the details, Adam Aron mentioned that our results for the first quarter of 2022 represents AMC's strongest first quarter in 2 full years. 2 full years will bring us back to 2020. So on top of that, AMC ended the quarter with 1.3 billion in available liquidity. In other words, cash. This is a very good thing because in the next couple of months, we are kind of head towards cash will still be king, because it means they can get some pre-investments at very interesting discounts. Now, I don't expect them to mention. I don't think they have been mentioning the investment they've been in Hycroft in this quarter, but definitely the next quarter we may start hearing about that. So let's get into some of the high-level details in this quarter. So he mentioned that the cumulative success of Spider-Man: No Way Home, The Batman, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Doctor Strange in the multiverse, those were kind of Hollywood movies, that draw people and moviegoers back in theaters. I think he mentioned that Batman and Spider-Man had solid runs in theaters, and AMC saw nearly 40 million visitors. 40 million visitors during the quarter. That is a lot. Revenues collected during the period did not outweigh the nearly $1 billion AMC spent on operating expenses and rent. And this is the reason why AMC is still posting a loss, because the movie theater chain reported a net loss of $337.4 million or 65 cents per share. Now, when you do the adjusted part of it, you end up with this. The company lost 52 cents per share, but the market was expecting them to lose even more money. Actually, 63 cents. That was what the market was expecting the earnings per share to be. So revenue rose, which is also a good thing. Revenue rose to $785 million. That is almost $150 million compared to last year. So it means there is consistency in growth, all right? There's also consistency into kind of maintaining the cost, to make sure that costs decrease. And I believe they're going to focus on this, going forward. But the fact that we have people still going back to theaters is definitely crushing once and for all the theory of the short sellers, the short theory, which means that movie theaters are dead. People are not going to theaters anymore. Have you looked at numbers from Netflix? Have you looked at numbers from Disney? Have you looked at numbers on earnings from all of these platforms? It's not that good. Meaning, what used to work in 2020 and 2021 definitely will not be the thing that will work in 2022. It is not even summer yet. And this summer is poised to be another summer with record-breaking in terms of attendance. Now, what does it matter for a stock like AMC? Well, it does matter because we are in an environment where fundamentals are going to be back in play. For the last 2 years, the market has been trading like there were no fundamentals. Companies that were making no money were trading like, what we call the multiples, like they were trading at some higher valuations. The prices were not justified when you look at how much money they're printing, because the bottom line in the stock market is, I don't care how industry, how sector your company is operating in, you have to grow by showing the market that quarter after quarter you're making money and you're remaining your cost and you're profitable. So AMC is on the right track for that. And given these market conditions that are kind of really treacherous, it means that if you are not on this path, if you're not proving to investors that you are in this path of either going back to recovery, to profitability, like AMC is, or you are maintaining a certain level of growth in your earnings, in the amount of margins, in the money you make, then people are going to sell off your stock. So that's why I'm saying if AMC is running after hours, like, above 4.5%. I mean, it's not that great, but it's a good sign. Now, keep in mind that usually good news doesn't usually means, price going up with AMC. It may be weird. It may sound weird, but it's just the reality given the last quarters on the last, 1.5 years we've been kind of covering this stock. But I'm expecting this to at least build a new momentum. And as we get into the end of this week and potentially next week, the market will start adjusting itself, and some investors, with big pockets, will get into AMC and kind of, move the money around. And that is something which could potentially, head back to maybe the 20s or the 30s. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see that coming.